What if your next destination took you to a place steeped in history, brimming with myths and stories? Welcome to Central Istria, where every corner has a tale to tell, from ancient legends to vibrant modern-day culture. I'm Nora Walsh, and in today's episode, I'm joined with Ivana Slokovic-Mates, a passionate tour guide who knows all about the rich history of Central Istria's medieval villages and the fascinating lore this region has to offer. Ivana will share why Central Istria is a wonderful place to live. It's filled with welcoming people, delicious food and wine, an abundance of wellness pursuits, and intriguing legends about vampires, fairies, and giants. Later, we'll visit the Pazin City Museum to meet director and curator Maya Zidorich-Pilat to learn about the museum's history and interactive exhibitions. Maya will give us an inside look at why this museum is a must-see for visitors and locals alike. Get ready to uncover the compelling history and mystery of Central Istria. Hi, Ivana. Welcome to the Live and Work in Central Istria podcast. Tell us your full name and what you do.
Hi. Thank you for having me, Nora. So I am Ivana Slokovic-Mates. I have two surnames. One is my husband's, one is mine. I'm a local tour guide. I live here in Central Istria, which is a rather small area where everybody knows everybody, and I really love living here.
And tell me about, a little bit about what you can take people to do, what they see, what people book you for.
Well, usually it depends. I have all kind of work. Sometimes it's tours for big groups of people coming here. They have all programmed, so they go and search for different areas. And that's kind of the more boring things that we do, because everything is pre-programmed and very standard for us. And what I love is working with people who basically can come through our tourist board to have my contact, and then we make up and go wherever we like and explore the region. And there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can explore little towns, bigger or smaller, very, very small. You can go chasing waterfalls. You can hike a lot, go biking or cycling. You can also taste wine. There's eat great food. There's a lot of things to do.
Tell me a little bit about the medieval towns that are under, and when you take people out, do you do guiding in terms of you'll take them to do all those kinds of activities, or do you focus more on like the historical side of?
Well, I don't do adventure because we'd get lost, and that's again then we'd have a program. Then we have a problem. But I do mostly historical tours, gourmet stuff, or wine tasting. Go figure. You'd think I work just more for myself than for everybody else, but it's a great job to have, by the way. We go explore whatever, old castles, old churches. Sometimes the towns go back to the Roman times or even pre-Roman period, so they're very old. History here is amazing. Life has been present here for 3,000 years in some of these areas. So there's a lot of legends connected to different legends like fairies, giants, Slavic gods, Roman gods. It's very, very, it's very vast. The culture is different. It's lovely, yeah.
I know that speaking of legends, there's this legend of the vampire.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about this legend? Because it's very present in this culture and it's super interesting.
Well, there's this story about this vampire who's been buried in one of the villages in the central region, and of course attacked people, drank their blood, and as vampires do. Some say the story goes, he wasn't a vampire apparently, but the story goes back to the Middle Ages when around one of the monasteries in the area, when a couple got married, then the wife had to spend their first night of when they were married in the monastery. So we're not going into details a lot of what. So this guy apparently opposed to the monastery and tried to pot it and wanted his wife to himself for the first night. And he was declared a heretic. He was prosecuted, killed and buried. And there goes the legend that he was heretic, so he worshipped the devil and being buried, and he came back to life and made life very difficult for all the people around it. And so they had to, how do you call it, debury him? Unbury the guy. And of course, with a wooden stick, they pressed through his heart, and everything stopped there. But apparently, this legend was spread around the region, and there you go. There were legends and stories about vampires in the area.
I heard that was the inspiration for Dracula.
Yeah, that was apparently the inspiration
not
for
the
Dracula.
Transylvania.
Yeah, not the Transylvanian Dracula, but the vampire from the north. Yeah. Apparently, so
yes.
yeah.
Are there any other legends that are really popular here or present here? Because I've heard that these have kind of just like lived on, like, you know, through the generations.
Oh, there's a lot of legends. We have giants present in our legends since we don't have a lot of water in the region. This is a karst area. So wherever you dig, there is stone underground. And not having a lot of surface water and lifestyle throughout centuries was very, very difficult, a very difficult life. So these giants who lived here in the area apparently helped peasants thrive in a way. So they plowed the land with these enormous plows to make water fall from surrounding mountains, coming to the valley, and basically bringing fresh waters for these people to thrive and survive. So one of these giants started to dug this line, plowing the line through which water should have come in Pazin, which is the capital of the region. And at some point, coming to the castle of the town, he was faced by the mistress of the castle, who didn't like how the plowing went, because it was a very meandering line, and she started to tease him and saying that it's not very nice, it's not very direct, and he got offended and left. And water started coming and flooding the area, and the poor people of the area went to the giant and asked for help, because it wasn't their fault that the mistress was that obnoxious and not very polite with the giant. So he came back, stepped very hardly on the land, cracking the land so the water could go underground. And from this time on, here in the region, just next to the castle, we have basically a hole, siphon through which the river coming from the mountains goes underground. So it's still present, this legend. Other legends, we had fairies in our legends. So if you saw a fairy, for example, and you never knew whether the fairy was a good one or a bad one, so they could bless you, they could curse you. And if they were seen by people, fairies died. So they tried to avoid, so they went outside during nighttime. They tried to avoid contact with people. And people, since they were very afraid of fairies, the best way to fight or to take care of your well-being is to walk around, especially during night, with a rooster under your arm, because if the rooster sings, that usually marks the arrival of day, like daylight. Yes. And they'd avoid daylights because they would be seen by people and then die. So there's a lot of stories like, bring your rooster with you if you're going walking around in the dark. There are demons, of course, attacking you, especially at night, because, at night, in the old days, there weren't a lot of light. So there is a legend, a story connected to this guy, this demon named Orko, O-R-K-O, Orko. And Orko would basically kidnap mostly men who went back home after the day in the field, nighttime. They would kidnap them and make them so dizzy that they didn't know how to go back. So the next morning they would arrive at home, back to their wives, saying that, go figure, I couldn't find my way home after hanging out with the guys. So the Orko is apparently still active a lot of time, but that's a different story today. So yeah, there are a lot of legends who are present.
And where do the legends come from culturally? Are they things that have been passed down from the Slavs? And what is, like, if you could just walk us through a little bit of the history of this region, of, the different...
Oh, the different rulers. Yeah. Well, first of all, the name Istria comes from the local tribe History, who were a pre-Roman tribe who were overrun by Romans, and this becomes a Roman region, 10th Roman region. And
when was that?
That was 2nd century BC.
Okay.
It was Romanized, and a lot of the land in the area is given to soldiers as a reward for their service in the army. And so it gets Romanized. We have Roman laws. Even our laws, today's laws, lie upon Roman law. So it's, let's say, an occurrence that's present everywhere, especially on the Mediterranean and almost every ex-Roman, every country that was part of the Roman Empire. After the Romans, we had here the Franks with Charlemagne. So I'm just gonna pass. It may be the main point.
Sure.
So Romans with the Franks with Charlemagne. Then we have the Austrians, the Habsburgs mostly, ruling the central part of the region, while the coast is ruled by Venice for 500 years.
And when was
more or
that?
less. This was the Middle Ages, so let's say from the 13th century on. So the region is being separated between these two different rulers, Venice on the coast, Austria in the central part of the region. Even today, as a remnant, we have different kind of dialects, one based on Venetian, so Italian words, one based on German, so even, let's say, here in the central part of the region, we speak a Croatian dialect. Some words have German roots, because Austria speaks German. After that, we had a short period under Napoleon, and then again, the Habsburgs rules this area until the end of the First World War, so first part of the 20th century. Then this area passes to Italy, the Kingdom of Italy, and then the fascist government under Mussolini. Then Yugoslavia after the Second World War, and from the 90s on Croatia, and then European Union since the 2000s. So there's a lot of going on here in the region. The legends go back, I'd say some go back to the Slavic times, some are connected to just people who didn't know how to explain it. Some it's connected to Christianity. So there's a lot of mixing with this and that. And some of present even today. So people would believe that, I don't know, a child can be cursed until it's not baptized. And then they would have a red ribbon or a red, how do you call it? Thread. And put it on a child's arm, or put their socks upside down, so it's inside out. So it's very strange superstitions that go back. Who knows how much in time.
And how do you think that expresses itself in the culture now, in terms of having gone through so many different cultural influences over time?
Well, this is present everywhere in our language. As I said, so Istria, the whole region, Istria is a peninsula, basically the biggest peninsula of the Adriatic. So it's the only bilingual region of Croatia. We speak both Italian and Croatian as official languages here in the region.
I didn't know that.
Italian is mostly present on the coast. Well, here in the central part, we do have an Italian community because Italy is very close. I mean, from here to Italy, depending on where you are, you have from 20 minutes till an hour. So it's very, very close. Austria has been ruling here through the Habsburgs. So let's say our cuisine is very mixed. You have a lot of pasta with a meat ragu, a dish would be accompanied by sauerkraut. So this is an influence that comes both from Italy or Venice and both from Austria. As I said, our language is very mixed. It's funny how people swear. So a lot of people would speak two languages, Italian and Croatian. You would swear in a language that you don't use. So the language you use the most, it's for a good, nice conversation. You'd swear in a different language. It doesn't count. So you would hear, I mean, it's so funny when you speak both languages, because you'd hear people speaking Croatian or the local dialect and then swearing in Italian or vice versa. So yeah, it's a lot of, it's fun.
And I know you grew up on the coast. Did you grow up in school learning both Italian and Croatian?
Yeah, we spoke both languages at home, but the dialect. So dialect is kind of a twisted version of the standard language. I've learned Croatian. Well, my mom is not from the region, so she's from a part of Croatia where they speak like standard TV Croatian. So I've learned the dialect at home and the standard language at home, and of course through television and cartoons. Same things with Italian. My dad, my grandparents would speak Italian. We're some cousins, family, neighbors. But standard Italian, I have learned it just turning the antenna towards Italy, watching a lot of cartoons. And this is how I grew up. And even part of the community here in the central part of the region, which is, so we are far from the coast, some 25 miles, more or less. There is still an Italian community. People speak less Italian here, so it's not that present, but still it was quite present, but learned in school. So you'd learn grammar, as if you do it with English and wherever in the States, or Spanish.
Most people speak excellent English here. Is that something that you guys also learn at school, or is this also through movies and just popular culture?
Both, I think. Yeah. So we started, when I was a kid, I started in fourth grade. I was 10, 11. Children now start in the first grade, some even earlier in kindergarten, just through play. But our TV broadcasts everything in the original language. We have subtitles. So basically, the language enters in your ears. So you hear it all the time. And in school, we learn British English with a Slavic or American accent, which ends up being an American, because, movies and shows mostly come from the States. So same thing happens with Italian. So a lot of through songs, and internet today brings English a lot. So kids would speak better English, I'd say, than even Croatian and Italian. So which are present here because this is the area. But if you listen to them speaking to each other, there's a lot of English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about these beautiful medieval towns, because I think that's something that's so special in Central Istria. And it would be great to know a little bit about like the history and the architecture, and which are some of the gems that you think you can't miss if you come here.
Well, first of all, the central part of the region is very hilly. So, and it's different than the coast. The coast is more flat, it's more stony. This is very hilly, a lot of greenery around. So you can walk from one village to another, from one town to another through amazing greenery and see some water, even though we don't have a lot, but it's really nice. You should come to see the capital of the region, which is Pazin, known for its castle that overlooks this big like grotto and this underground cave, and water comes in it. And some say it was an inspiration for Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy, the hell part. There's a very nice entrance to it.
A beautiful entrance to hell.
A beautiful entrance to hell, exactly. Well, you know how the devil lures everything.
That's right.
Everything good in life comes from the devil, they say. Well, who knows? We should try to explore, right? But it is a beautiful entrance to hell. I love how you can... I love it. Well, anyway, there are other amazing little towns. Let's say Gračišće, that is known for its lovely churches and frescoes, some walls, medieval houses, medieval palaces.
About how big are these towns, like Pazin and Gračišće? Like, how many people would you say live in?
Oh, just a few hundred people would live in. Pazin, for example, the capital of Pazin is the capital of the region. It's the very central part of the region. Counts the town 5,000 with the surrounding 9,000. Mm-hmm. So all the other towns go barely to 1,000 people. So several hundred people. And everybody will know everybody. So we use the region as one big city. So we would drive in every direction, either for school, work, whatever. So your kids might not have, let's say, you might not bring them to the kindergarten in the capital, the biggest town in the area. But there are several kindergarten groups in Gračišće, for example. And a lot of parents choose to bring them there. They enjoy being outside. It's wonderful for kids because you can just let them go. I brought my kids to the movies and we would just leave them there, tell them, oh, just so you know, Dad and I are in this and that coffee shop or bar. When the movie's done, you just come and get us. And they were very small. They were like first grade, second grade. So it's very nice to, if you decide to come with your family, you can enjoy it. It's very safe. You can use your bike everywhere. You can hike around. So it's really nice.
And what are some of the other, besides Grashishche?
Oh, there's Tinyan, a lovely, lovely little town that also overlooks this gorge in the valley that basically cuts the region in half. Lovrec or San Lorenzo, surrounded by all defense walls that you can, so you can see how these medieval towns were or looked like back in the day. So they haven't changed quite a lot.
Some of them are very preserved.
Yeah, I mean, life has been going on in them more or less the same way as it was back in the days.
When things were built to last.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, yes and no. I remember my grandma used to say everything is old, and my mom used to fight with her and say it's not old, it's antique. So it depends how you look at it.
Well, the stone is still standing.
Yeah, it is. But it's nice to see them because these towns were built, some of them in the Roman times, to guard the central part of the region, to guard the roads, because traveling wasn't safe back in the days. And then they slowly, as times passed, they were repurposed as sentinels still guarding the roads. So you'd come there with your horses, with carriages, let you change horses or let them rest, bring mail from, let's say, Vienna or Trieste or whatever town in the area. So stayed in a secluded, safe area within the city walls or town walls, and then continue traveling, or let's say tax collecting if you worked for, let's say, an empire. Mm-hmm. And it's been known that a lot of tax collectors kind of lost each trace of these tax collector has been lost. Go figure. I don't know why. Never made it back to the capital. But yeah, I mean, everywhere you go, just even if you get lost, at some point you find a nice little area, whether it is a waterfall, a little town with lovely cuisine. So you have a lot of agritourism where you can taste local cuisine. So yeah, come and get lost. Just that's the bottom line.
Well, whatever you're interested in, you can really find here.
Yeah, I think you can. I mean,
other than if you're looking for a big city lifestyle with a lot of nightlife, this place is not for you.
No, there's not.
That's something that you're not going to find. I mean, you can find fairs, you can find concerts, you can find outdoor movies. Like it's not that there's nothing to do, but you're not going out dancing all night somewhere.
No, I mean you can find that, but you have to drive a bit. It's more like it's a quiet area. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you have a lot of festivals. I mean, summer festivals. You have jazz concerts. You have outdoor movie sets. So it's really nice. I mean, you can do stuff, and you have a lot of coffee shops or bars that are open, let's say, until midnight, 1 a.m. So you can do stuff, but it's not for partying. If you need a festival, you just go search for a festival. If not, but you can really enjoy something day to night. And when we party, we do parties for ourselves. So you can maybe hear, let's say, somebody partying at 2 p.m. It's a local family event, and I like to say that we live like a tribe. So we are very connected with our families, and we would live very close to our parents, our grandparents. We celebrate birthdays as it was like a big event, because it is. Yes. New Year's Eve, Christmas. It's still something very a family-like affair. But yeah, we are very much connected through family, friends, and it's a very tribal life, and everybody knows everybody and everybody's business, which sometimes it's not. It can oppress you, but it's really nice on the other hand, because I mean, I see my parents or my in-laws living with my children, and they both thrive. So both kids and grandparents living so close to each other and sharing their everyday life, they have a higher quality of life. So it is still today, and everybody's proud of that kind of lifestyle. People in Istria might not appear very friendly or open on the first arrival, but it's a live and let live area. But once you get there and you start talking to them and they open, and it doesn't take quite a lot, you're set. You have a friend for life. So it is a very friendly area. It is.
What are some of your favorite tours to do?
My favorite tours? Oh, I like Pazin. I like the story of Pazin because at first, so the capital, I like it because at first it seems like a very dull town where you cannot explore and see something, but there's a lot of stories to tell. So you not necessarily see something happening through a building, but there's a lot connecting through the building. The railroad, the rail station is very close, so there are a lot of connection to Vienna and the elite of, let's say, the Habsburg period, the 1800s. The museum, it's nice. I love Gračišće a lot. It seems like as it was in the middle of nowhere, surrounded with woods, this little hill with lovely churches. It's super small, wonderful stories. I know Pazin and the Legend Fest. There are a lot of festivals there. I don't know. I don't have a favorite. So whatever I tell you, I'll find something else. But a lot, yeah.
It's just a very clean lifestyle in general here. It's, slow paced, low stress, outdoors, connected to nature. People are friendly. People spend time together. You have a very strong community. Is there, for someone who's not from here, can you really kind of immerse yourself in the community here? And, we both do yoga, we both meditate. Is there places that you recommend to be able to go do those kinds of things? I know there's, you can do some retreats here.
Well, yeah, let's say in Motavun, which is known for truffles there's like a little hotel. You can do wellness, several others where you can go. And you can come here to have an organized retreat. But for us who are locals here, and if you come here and want to do that, we have several yoga teachers that, are wonderful and great. And they are so into it and so open that they really, as yoga teachers do, they really live that.
And how can you find them?
Well, they're, of course, through our tourist board, you can find them also, but they're advertised through social media, so it's easy to find them. You can even ask locals. We do have yoga classes in the capital, in our sports hall, for example, 3 times a week, so you can go there. We go with our yoga teacher. One of our yoga teachers goes swimming every day, every Sunday during winter. So all year round, you can go to the sea and do these yoga stuff at the beach, meditation and swimming in the cold sea, which is, they say it's way better. I wasn't convinced until I tried it this year. So it's really a nice experience to see. But then they go mountain hiking and then do meditation and yoga, let's say on the hills surrounding the area. So it's really active. Who wants to do that? They really can do that. There's a lot of meditation connected to that. So different teachers who would do that. And it's easy to find. It's a very small area. So for people who come here, they just come in our towards in the office of the tourist board. It's very easy to get in contact with people who practice that. What else did we talk about?
Do you have gyms? Do you have swimming pools for people who, are used to having like a trainer that they work with, or doing laps every day?
Well, yeah, it's a very active community. So you have a lot of gyms. For example, in the capital, you have 3 gyms. It's a very small town, 5,000 people, 3 gyms. Mm-hmm. In the village next, just a bit south, you have, I think, 2 gyms.
Where's that?
It's just south from Pazin, some 10 minutes from Pazin towards the south. Near Lovrec, in Lovrec, so San Lorenzo, you have another gym. So there are associations called Trickeri or Trickery here. They organize the Winter League, so you go running. They do marathons, half marathons, 100 miles of Istria, so you can run 100 miles if it's your thing.
Yeah.
And get lost in the woods around it.
Do you guys have a lot of running groups? I know.
Yeah, there are a lot of running groups.
I'm sure you have a lot of mountain running groups
there's
too.
Little sprinters. They're called sprintici. So it means little sprinters, a very active community that trains kids and adults. So yeah, they're very connected, and what I love that they support each other. So if you want to do bouldering, there's a local club that teaches kids from early ages till adults that can do bouldering and free climbing. And yeah, they support each other. It's a very, very sporty and outdoorsy community. It's a school district, the central part of the region. It's a school district, and it's a very safe area for kids. So I don't know, it's really, really nice. I mean, the downside is that everybody knows everybody and everybody's business. But
well, that's really nice if you're coming here, though.
Yeah.
And you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to make friends.
But you're going to make friends very quickly. Yeah. And kids know languages. So, and they're very curious. They're very outspoken. So, yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
And how long have you been a tour guide here?
Well, I've been touring for, this year's going to be 16 years.
Wow,
so quite a lot.
okay.
Yeah.
So you know it all around here. You're the person to ask.
I don't know. Well, there's a lot of us who are, not a lot of us, but there are some of us who are tour guides. You can find the whole list on the tourist board website. Some of us guide in different languages, whether it's English, Italian, Russian, Ukrainian, Swedish, Norwegian. So a lot of languages. I like how we know each other. And yeah, so I've been doing it for quite a lot.
Where do most of your clients come from?
Oh, see, in the last, let's say, 5-6 years, 90% of my clients are Americans.
Okay.
Before that, I had mostly Italians coming here. But I don't know, in the last 5 years, we have been discovered by Americans. At the moment, I think we have 100,000 people roaming around the area, and several thousands are Americans, which is amazing. So yeah, it's a very...
What do the Americans usually like to do when they come?
Oh, eat and drink. Yeah. They like wine.
Yes.
Yeah, they like a lot of wine. And yeah, eat. So eating truffles, they like truffles.
Yes.
Fish, pasta, everything. Yeah, but wine, it's their favorite. Yeah.
And are there any wineries that you want to just call out that you think are really special that, you know, you should add these to your itinerary? Or if you're not here for a super long time, you know, and you're just here for a month, make sure that you hit these.
Oh, well.
And I know you don't want to play favorites.
No, I don't. I wouldn't like to play favorites. But in the central part, we have 2 wineries right next to the capital, which are wonderful to visit. One of them is also a honey producer. So if you want to go there, and the honey is great.
And I know there's also olive oil producers.
Yeah, olive oil producers. So olive oil of the region is fantastic. In the last 8 years in a row, we have been declared as the region with the best olive oil in the world. It's an international competition, and there is a guide through these olive oils printed in Rome. So it's not ours. And producers from Istria have been declared as the best in the world quality-wise. We cannot compete in quantity because the region is small, very, very small. Same is with the wine. So
small but elite.
I would like to think so. But yeah, it's really good. It's really good wine. I mean, on the London Wine Challenge, some of our producers have won platinum medals, golden medals. So it's really a high achievement, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice because it is, even though Croatia, I feel like, is having a very big moment.
Yeah.
I do feel like Istria is still a bit under the radar in terms of, you know, like an alternative to Tuscany or an alternative to, you know, California, you know?
Yeah.
To come here and have maybe some of the other great wine capitals of the world. It's a place that's still undiscovered in a lot of ways. And I think you get the feeling here that you're in touch with something special.
What?
And very local.
It is. It's still very local.
Very local.
I mean, the wine has been ever present forever. But in the past, my granddad used to produce a wine that was very acidic, very sugar, a lot of sugars, a lot of acids. And from the 90s on, the men, the women who entered this world of wine production, they have learned to modernize the production, so to accommodate the wine to the taste of the modern people of today. Mm-hmm. So it's a very fresh wine. Also the cuisine. So yeah, the region here, I'd say it's the road less traveled. So it's similar to Tuscany, but it's not. We have a Colosseum. We have an amphitheater similar, the same as the Colosseum in Rome, which is much smaller, but it's from the same period, more or less. So if you want to experience like a connection to the Roman times, you come to the region, it's there. The food is amazing. It's not Italy, it's not the Balkans, it's not Central Europe, but it's a mixture of everything because we are positioned on the crossroad of these cultures. So the Latin culture comes from the west, from Italy, and we are bordering through the sea with Italy. From the north comes the Austrian, the Germanic culture, right? Because we were ruled by the Habsburgs also for half a century, for half a millennia. Then we have the Balkans on our east, the Balkan Peninsula. So the Slavic culture is here, and they're all cross here in the region. So it's for people who understand the diversity of these major peoples here in the region, you can taste them, you can feel them here in this small appendix of Europe, because we are truly an appendix of Europe. Peninsula separated from the rest of Europe, which is so rich, and you just have to scratch the surface to see it. It's not right there, but it is. I mean, it's present.
Thank you, Ivana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My name is Maja Zidarić-Pilat. I'm the director and curator of Pazin City Museum, and we are now sitting on the second floor of the Pazin castle, which is basically built in the 10th century in 983.
And what a view.
Yeah, an amazing workplace, I would say.
Yes,
Yeah.
very romantic.
Romantic depending on how you see it, maybe working during the summer or during the winter, but yes, we are privileged to work here.
So tell me a little bit about what people can find at the museum.
So in this castle, there are two museums. One is Ethnographic Museum of Istria, and the other is Pazin City Museum. Basically, our exhibitions, temporary or permanent, are placed on the ground floor, first floor, and second floor, and are intertwined. So when you go throughout the space, you can see a bit of cultural history of Central Istria, then a bit of ethnography of the Istrian Peninsula, and you build your way up to the first and the second floor.
So what kind of things would you find in the museum?
Oh, so since this is a castle from the 10th century, it was the center of the Pazin County. One of my personal favorites is the exhibition Pazin, the Castle of Pazin and the Uprising of the Serfs. So as it was the center of the administrative unit Pazin County, it was also a home of the Count of Pazin, since it is a period of many uprisings of the serfs. Basically, they tried to find their rights with the Pazin Count. So they attacked the castle and tried to basically deserve their rights with the Count.
Wow.
Yeah, this is my personal favorite, as well as one other favorite from the museum collections of the Pazin City Museum is the exhibition of church bells. It's located on the ground floor of the castle. 23 church bells are represented from the period from the 14th to the 19th century, and basically the story behind them is the story between the two world wars, when these bells were taken down from Istrian bell towers in order to be cast into weapons. Wow. So basically these 23 represent a large number of bells which were not given the opportunity to turn back to Istria and to be set in a museum, but it's an interesting story behind them.
And do you do seasonal exhibitions? Are there any exhibitions that are upcoming that
yes.
you want to note, or
Yeah.
ones that you think are really interesting to people who
Yeah,
are
we
living over
we
here?
have our permanent exhibitions and temporary. Temporary are opened maybe 2 times a year. At this point, the Pazin City Museum does not have any exhibitions, but we are planning one for December of this year and 2 other exhibitions for 2025.
And what would those be?
First will be dedicated to the ending of the Second World War, and the other is dedicated to 50 years of association in culture, which works in Pazin from 1975.
And tell me a little bit about how the museum reflects the culture of this region.
Okay, so since we are two museums, we basically have our own topics which we deal with. Pazin City Museum is related with the topics of cultural history of Central Istria, so Pazin and the surrounding area, while Ethnographic Museum of Istria deals with ethnography of the peninsula. Our topics of our exhibitions and programs are also intertwined, so we have to and we are welcome to work together, but basically work as a separate unit, each museum for itself.
So tell me a little bit about the culture of Istria. Like what will you see in the museum that explains and takes you deeper into this really unique culture?
Okay, so regarding the Pazin City Museum, we have four permanent exhibitions. One is the previously mentioned exhibition of church bells, then the exhibition, the Pazin Castle and the Uprising of the Serbs. We also have a small exhibition dedicated to Juraj Dobrila, which was our Istrian bishop during the 19th period, who fought basically for Croatian language in the period of Germanization and Italianization of the peninsula. The last exhibition is called Pazin from Prehistory to the Middle Ages, which is basically an archaeological exhibition presenting small archaeological artifacts found on the place of Central Istria.
And do you do guided tours? Can people...
Yes, we do guided tours upon previous announcements and for groups, more than 10 people. We also have workshops, thematic workshops like build your own castle or build your own coat of arms for children.
Oh, that's
mainly.
fun.
Yeah.
When do you do those?
It's also upon previous announcement, and during the summertime we have a week called the Week of Educational Workshops.
Oh, what else do you do during the workshops?
Basically, we have four workshops. One is build your own castle.
That's
when
fun.
when children get to know basically the castle, its architecture, and then they build their own. Build your own coat of arms based on our coats of arms on the entrance wall. And the last workshop is become a curator. So they learn how to take an object and make it into an exhibition, how to create an exhibition, and so on.
That's for children, or
for children?
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any type of workshops for adults?
No, not at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the architecture of the castle.
So the castle was built. Yeah, it's beautiful. It basically shows numerous stages of adaptation throughout the centuries. It was built in the 10th century, and the most notable changes occurred in the 15th and the 16th century when it was given the semicircular tower and the inner courtyard. All of those windows you can see on the inner courtyard were opened during the 17th and the 18th century, when basically the castle no longer served as a home for the Pazin Count, but it was his residence, his villa, so to say.
And what a villa.
What a villa, yeah, with numerous rooms. They were all well equipped with beds, with furniture, all very distinguished and very, for that period, very expensive furniture. Unfortunately, we don't have anything original from that period stored in our funduses of our museums. During the 19th century, the castle was a bit left behind, and in the 20th, basically, in the middle of the 20th century, it became a home to the museum, the first museum, National Museum of Pazin, and then it became the Ethnographic Museum, and the story goes on till today.
In terms of places of cultural interest beyond the castle, are there any that you think are really just can't miss experiences while you're here?
In Pazin or Central Istria in general? Well, every place you visit has a story of its own. So if you just go to Beram, you will see the church called Saint Mary, kako se zove na Škriljinama? Sveta Marija na Škriljinah. It has medieval fresco paintings inside. Also, there's a small church of Saint Catherine in Lindar that also has fresco paintings from the 13th century inside.
Wow.
So, I don't know, Motovun, Karojba, everything in Central Istria, Sveti Petar u Šumi, Gračišće. Every place has its own story and also has its soul.
So where can you learn about the story of each of these little medieval hamlets?
Well, you can go to Tourist Board of Central Istria, and they'll give you certainly more information about what to visit and what to look after. You can, as your first stop, you can come to the castle, so we'll work it from there.
As someone coming to live and experience the culture today in Central Istria, how would you describe that culture? How would you describe what it's like to live here?
Well, living here is certainly an easy way of living. We don't rush, I think. We take the easy way to work, to do around the house, to go to vacation or training or whatever you do. So basically this culture, I think it becomes a part of your everyday life. So I think that's very important for preserving the culture in the future, but also it's very important not to forget that the culture is what we are and what we make of it. And I think people live in that way in Central Istria.
And that's a glimpse into the rich tapestry of Central Istria, from the mythical to the modern. A heartfelt thank you to Ivana Sukovic-Matez for taking us on a journey through the region's colorful folklore, and to Maya Zidrich-Pilat for giving us an insider's look at the treasures of the Pazin City Museum. Whether you're drawn to the eerie tales of vampires, the charm of Central Istria's people, or dynamic museum exhibits, this region has something for everyone. I'm Nora Walsh, and I'll see you on our next adventure through the wonders of Central Istria. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review to keep Central Istria's legends alive. Until next time, let's keep exploring.